Good afternoon and welcome back to Bowl TV on Extra Frame for round two of qualifying at the 2017 U.S. Women's Open, taking place at Plano Super Bowl in Plano, Texas. I'm Aaron Smith, alongside Emil Williams Jr. and Matt Cannizzaro. And we are underway here. C Squad, their second 8-game block. All right, some big scores early on the fresh 43-foot condition. Now transitioning to the burn. Double burn coming up later tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern here on Extra Frame. For our competitors on C Squad today, they started yesterday on the double burn. We had Liz Culkin, 2015 Topeka Open champion, leading the way on the squad, and all 114 bowlers with her effort. Got to plus 270. We had some big scores surpass that on B Squad earlier today, so we'll get you that information and more in just a bit, but we are settling in game number 1 of 8. Coming up here on Extra Frame. Thanks for joining us. We'll be here throughout the block. Be sure to follow us on social media. PWBA Tour on Facebook, along with the Sport of Bowling USBC, and on Twitter at USBC and at PWBA Tour. You can find standings and more by visiting pwba.com/live. You can also find it bowl.com/US Women's Open. Plenty of places to get the information about this amazing event. Our lineup here in game 1 over on 23 and 24. That is Johanna Puentes, getting ready for her third frame. Sending all 10 back. She's joined by Lindsay Boomershine and Amanda Fry. Over on 25 and 26, we actually got 4 players over there. As Brandy Branca coming in a little bit light, leaving the 2. Joined by Valerie Burser, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, the Hall of Famer, and Jordan Newham. mentioned, Liz Culkin leading the way for C Squad and all squads, finishing plus 270 for her 8 games yesterday. One pair to our right, starting off with the front 6. It's kind of been a theme here in the early going of qualifying that we've seen some big scores out of the gates. Liz looking to continue that momentum. Was a little surprised yesterday after the practice session. Didn't think she's going to have the best look on the double burn, but found the right matchup quickly. Got the right ball in her hands, never switched throughout the block. Started off at 276, 266. On our way to averaging better than at 233 for the block. The number she's chasing now to return to the top of the standings, plus 441, courtesy of Aaron McCarthy. Aaron went plus 154 yesterday. Bowling B squad, the burn. And then got really lined up on the fresh today. After a pretty solid start, 219 and 236, 208 and 213 for her first half of the block. Averaged better than 252 her last 4, 237, 258, 279 and 237 for an 1887 total. Better than a 235 overall average for the day to get to 36.41 overall, 5 pins ahead of 3-time defending champion Liz Johnson. Finished at plus 436. Bit of a drop-off after that for B squad competitors. Sandra Andersson from Sweden, plus 333. Brittany Himmelreich, who had a 299 yesterday. Another consistent performance today at plus 323 overall. Josie Barnes at plus 316. Birgit Poplar from Germany, plus 311. Clara Guerrero from Colombia, plus 284. Shannon Sellens, plus 281. Kelly Kulick having a big block, 1806 to get to 9th overall so far at plus 272. And Dasha Kovalova, plus 235. Those are the top 10 overall scores from B squad. So we mentioned Culkin at plus 270. Starting with the front 7, going to be up for 8. Up on lane at 27 in just a moment. You'll get to see her at the far right of your screen in just a moment. Gold ball going down the lane. And the first miscue of the day so far, 3-6-10 in the 8th. These competitors will transition to the fresh phase of the pattern tomorrow for their final 8-game block. It's been kind of curious, the scoring pace so far. So typically when you run to events like this, you see the big scores kind of coming from the middle squad of the day. We'll see what competitors on C squad can muster up, but out of the gates on the fresh really looked like we're going to see some. That was going to be the squad yesterday. The scores kind of tapered off in the final 2 games. Got a little tricky. Ashley Galante ended up leading A squad, got to plus 217. As we mentioned, Liz Culkin on the double burn getting to plus 270. Actually had a few scores from C squad getting up there, so got pretty nice on the double burn yesterday. But now that we're seeing that some of those scores being reached on the fresh. Willoughby bombs away here, middle part of the day. We'll see the double burn. Put up some big numbers once again. Had a pair of front 11s to start the last squad last night. Christy Roseberg delivering on the final shot, 300. We had 2 of them yesterday. Danielle Vandermeer finishing with 298. Amanda Fry splits the 8-9, talented left-hander. Recently finished up her collegiate career at Vanderbilt University, former junior Team USA member. Some early struggles here. 3 opens the first 7 frames before delivering that strike in the 8th. For Culkin, she was able to convert that 3-6-10. She's going to step up in the 10th in a moment here. Chance to start off like she did yesterday, 277 available. Lindsay Boomershine has had limited action on the tour this season. Her and husband Hank welcomed their first son, Aiden, just before the start of the season. So the excitement of building a family always going to take precedent, and Lindsay was actually dealing with an injury as well. So after bowling in the first stop, took a few weeks off. Had a great showing at the USBC Queens back in May. Leading qualifying. Had another major performance at a major, PWBA Players Championship, making the show. So this is the 3rd major, the 2017 season. We'll see what Lindsay has in store. Hoping to get a little bit better breaks on that 8-pin though. Found her way to plus 60 overall on the double burn yesterday. Miscue in the 10th for Culkin. Split she was unable to convert, finishes with 245. Fuentes a chance to get to 245 as well this game. Bouncing back after an open in the 5th, hasn't missed since. Able to get the 10 out. Second shot of the 10th. those of you joining us for the first time this week, we are at Plano Super Bowl in Plano, Texas. Shout out to great staff here. Jamie Brooks, the proprietor, one of the best out there. This center recently renovated, 48 lanes, technically 47, but that's okay. I actually have a, not sure what you want to call it, but kind of more of a relaxed 7-lane bay here. It's got couches, a little more laid back over there. Some mood lighting. That's where you want to go for a good time. But from lanes 9 to 34, though. That's where we're at for the U.S. Women's Open. 21 and 22 out of play. Every other pair. In that section getting used. Fuentes finishes with 233. Boomershine 180. And Fry working on 2 in a row. Playing them pretty direct from the left side. Connects on her first attempt in the 10th. 199 out there. And I've seen some spare shooting miscues from CDB on the right lane. Looks like most pairs pretty close to being done with game 1. Have a few 4s out there, so foundation frame underway. 25 and 26. CDB looking to bounce back after the miscue in the 8th. Still gets to 212 this game. Knows how important those missed pins can be at the end of 24 games and of 32 games possibly as well. If you're unfamiliar with the format at the U.S. Women's Open, all competitors will bowl a total of 24 games of qualifying over the course of 3 days, 8 a day, hitting 3 different phases as we talked about a little bit earlier of this 43-foot condition being used this week. So they'll get 1 block on the fresh, 1 on the burn, and 1 on the double burn. This is essentially the double burn. After those 24 games, we'll cut to the top of 38 in the field. We'll bowl 1 more 8-game block to bring it down to the top 24 for round-robin match play. Another 24 games to bring the total to 56, which will include bonus pins for wins, 30 for the W, 15 for a tie. At the end of it all, total pinfall will determine the top 5 to make it to Sunday's stepladder finals on CBS Sports Network. They'll be at noon Eastern, taking place right here in Plano. Final few shots on lanes 25 and 26 before we prepare for game number 2. Game 2 already underway on 23 and 24. Christina Wendell, Marsha Klompkin, and hometown favorite Stephanie Johnson making their way to our featured pairs. Stephanie actually works here at Plano Super Bowl. She's not on the PWBA tour doing the mom thing. Next group of competitors making their way to lanes 25 and 26. Shampluhowski getting the hit to kick things off. It'll be Diane Hasty stepping up far right of your screen. Desiree Negron, collegiate champion at Weber International. And their fourth, Jody Wessner, titleist, record holder at the USBC Women's Championships. Also past PWBA or PBA, excuse me, Women's Series champion. Probably a pretty interesting dynamic for Stephanie Johnson, being able to essentially bowl on her home turf. Definitely had some great support here when we were here for the Pro-Am. Probably one of the biggest applauses out there. And a lot of folks you get to see here on a regular basis coming to support as well. Have had a great crowd on hand throughout the week. Stephanie a little bit slow out of the gates yesterday on C Squad. Her 217 start games of 168 and 178. Got things going after that. 248, 239, 279, 241, and 203 to get to 173 over. Just delivered her first strike here in game 2. Three out of 4 for Christina. Christina back in 2015, the very first regular season event of the return of the PWBA Tour. Christina made her way to the championship match. Ended up as the runner-up to Alicia Current. Has since kind of stepped back a little bit. Now managing a center in Florida. I've been able to see her out here past few weeks. Marcia makes it 3 in a row after a spare in the first. Players definitely making the transition, at least on the right side, a little bit further left earlier than what we saw yesterday. Obviously, these bowlers were on the double burn, so they got to see the lanes beat up quite a bit after a bunch of traffic from the first two squads. With that being said, they also kind of know what equipment in the bag really matched up. Gave them the right look on this tough condition. So you can kind of get to those pieces earlier, knowing what you want to see. Obviously hoping it's there. Kind of got to rely on the folks ahead of you. All right, looks like standings updated online after the opening game. Jody Wessner makes it 3 in a row. Again, you can find these by visiting pwba.com or bowl.com. Probably a little bit easier on pwba.com, right up there in the slider. As we mentioned, Liz Culkin, well, not too far away from us, 245. She's going to be leading C squad at plus 315 overall. Jody Wessner, big 270 out of the gates. She's now at plus 274. Brianna Cote, 233 in the opener, now at 269 over. Shannon O'Keefe, 204 to get to 228 over. Verity Crawley was a second overall after day number 1, but found some struggles at $168. But she's still at plus 220. Danielle Vandermeer, plus 219. Stephanie Johnson on our featured pair, 244 at plus 217. Daria Payuk, the only other player, plus 200 so far on C squad after 9 at plus 207. Nice shot for Diana Hasty there, collecting her first double of game 2. Much better shot there for Shannon. Got that shot in the third frame. About 3 or 4 boards left of that. Did not have a chance to make it back to the head pin. The left is something she can make. Much better shot there, makes it 4 out of 5. If you didn't get a chance, check out Matt Canzaro's story on Shannon yesterday. Take some time and find it on pwba.com or bowl.com. Talked a little bit about Shannon's run last year here at the U.S. Women's Open. Final qualifying round was a little rough, and was able to sneak in to the round of 24 in that final spot, but took advantage of those 24 games and the ability to take up some bonus pins as well on her way to the number 1 seed. But on the TV show, game plan just did not match up to what she was hoping. She ended up falling into Liz Johnson. Talked a little bit about that moment, about the season, and just kind of Shannon's approach on things. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out, take some time when you're done here on Bowl TV on Extra Frame. Give it a read. Howski, after 220 in the opener, got up to plus 156 overall. Posted 1736 for her 8 games yesterday. Pretty consistent throughout the first half of the block, and then was able to get him striking a little bit more at the end. Looks like we got 7 in a row down on, well, down far enough. Danielle Vandermeer. But as soon as I noticed that, she stopped striking. My bad. CDB bouncing back 6 in a row. It's over on 33 and 34. Some nice scores, one pair to our right. Brooke Bauer, 230. Caitlin Johnson, 248. And Verdi Crawley looking to bounce back from that 160 game. Has a chance to go 260 in game 2. Sorry, delivered 1 strike in the 10th. Saw it to the far right of your screen there. Make it a double. Start to see a few shots check up a little bit earlier than planned. 23 and 24. sawing out the 7-10. Marcia taking care of business. Still has a chance to get into the 260s. Christina sets up the 10th with a strike. Buhowski gonna do it one more time. 278 max still out there. We talked a little bit about Stephanie Johnson. Homecoming of sorts here, Plano Super Bowl. Works here at the center. She gets them to mix up, has missed a large majority of the 2017 season. Talked a little bit earlier. Also, not only working bowling, but a full-time mom as well. Her and husband Chris welcomed their first daughter a few months back. Kenzie Rose. So Stephanie did not make an appearance until the PWBA Orlando Open, which was also a homecoming of sorts, originally from the Sunshine State. Spent some time up there during her collegiate days at UCF, yep, Central Florida. Was able to advance to the TV show, so she's already going to have something on the schedule for Sunday. We're going to be taping a total of 4 shows. Of course, the U.S. Women's Open show going to be live at noon Eastern. If you're in town, swing by. You can meet Emil Williams Jr. as well. Top of watching top female bowlers on the planet compete for titles. Finals of the Orlando Open, the St. Petersburg Clearwater Open, and nationwide Rochester Open all taking place after the fact. Another good shot there for Shannon, and does not get the 10 out this time. Christina's going to be in the 240s now. She's going to try something different for the fill ball, though. Take advantage of the opportunity. Nice game, Christina Wendell. Finishes up with 247. Clean game for Stephanie Johnson, 214. Kicking off the 10th frame, 25 and 26. Sham Pluhowski, 257 max. Marsha Klompkin still can get to 268. Just gonna have a chance. Rings the 10. and slowly mark at 257 for Shannon Pluhowski. Some big games here. Early going C Squad round 2, 2017. U.S. Women's Open, the final kind of main event, if you will, of the regular season. Of course, the Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship, the final major, as well as final event of 2017. But that is invitation only. Got to be in the top 16 one way or another, as that 10-pin was hasty in falling for Diane. One more can get her to 213. All done on 23 and 24, pair of 247s for Christina and Marcia. I mentioned Stephanie, 214. Desiree can get to 190 with the spare. Diane Hasty, 212 in the books. Jody Wessner will finish things up here in game 2. It's again an 8-game block. We're not done here after this, though. We will have a squad on the double burn. Approximate start time 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bull TV on Extra Frame. We'll be here all night, so we appreciate you stopping by, joining us for a little bit. Matt Cannizzaro on a little bit earlier today, along with Emil Williams Jr. Those guys like to party, so I'm sure we'll be able to get them on a little bit as well. Possibly see if a few players will stop by along the way as well, get some insight to what's happening on the lanes here. Christy Roseberg and Nicole Bauer and Hall of Famer Leanne Holsenberg be here for game 3, 23 and 24. Jody takes the 2, going to finish at a 205 after a big 270 start here in round 2. So with that, we're going to step away for a quick second. Game 3 coming up next here on Bull TV on Extra Frame. Thanks again for stopping by. Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. and Matt Cannizzaro will be here all day on Extra Frame. Business is preparing to pick up here in lanes 23 and 24. Hall of Famer Leanne Holsenberg, 7 for 7 so far here in game 3. Two of our players not moving too far. We actually saw Stephanie, Christina, and Marsha last game to our left. Now they're to our right. The scoring pace has kind of dwindled a little bit. Stephanie looking to change that there, 3 in a row. Scores now updated online after 2 games today and 10 total for C squad competitors. Liz Culkin at plus 330 overall. Brianna Cote plus 326. Verdi Crawley, we mentioned, we're going from 160 to 260, now at plus 284. Jody Wessner plus 279. Shannon O'Keefe plus 275. Danielle Vandermeer plus 266. Dasha Kovalova. Oh, she was on B squad. My apologies. Well, she's still at plus 235, which is pretty cool. Also cool, 8 strikes in a row. Christina Wendell plus 233. Stephanie Johnson plus 231. Both of them bowling right in front of us here. Caitlin Johnson, who made the show at the Under 20 Junior Gold Championships just a week or 2 ago. Going to be airing on CBS Sports Network on this upcoming Tuesday at plus 225. Daria Payuk plus 223. Giselle Posh plus 222. Some of the bigger scores on C Squad so far. Score at the top of the standings plus 441. Erin McCarthy. The big guns are out. Matt Cannizzaro has been summoned. See if he's going to get some extra work here. 2 300s yesterday. Jen Higgins and Christy Roseberg, who we have on our featured pair at the moment. Good tip for you youngsters out there. Even those who may not too young anymore, like Emil Williams Jr.
Come on.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to step off when things aren't right or something catches you. We actually had one of the employees go get a deadwood a few pairs to our left. And Leanne caught that and said, you know what? This is a big week for me. Really big week looking at standings for the Tour Championship.
It is indeed. Great point.
So gonna reset, refocus, and go through the pre-shot routine one more time. Didn't look like she liked that one off her hand, a little bit left, and hoped it would have held, but now we'll look to cover the spare and hopefully settle for 270s.
Still a worthy score. Certainly wouldn't mind shooting 300. At least having the opportunity to do so. A nice for the crowd here. And an event that she has won on what is arguably the grandest stage ever for U.S. Women's Open. In this very area known as the DFW Metroplex.
That's correct, 2011. Cowboy Stadium, Jerry's World. Pretty cool event over there. Built out a few lanes on the 50-yard line. Leanne able to find the matchup, take home the title. A few very memorable photos with her son Barrett. Get to enjoy that moment as well. Barrett running around here this week. Kid's getting big. They're all growing up. All three in the 10th. Gives Roseburg 226.
Hi, friends.
Hi, Maria. Better shot there to kick off the 10th for Leanne. So it's 278 out there. Cole Bauer had a real nice day yesterday. Bowled very well. We get to 213 here, but love to have that 9th frame back. Tough break with the 710. Shan Pluhowski seeing the strikes starting to add up over on 27 and 28 after an open in the first, 7 in a row. Leanne was sitting at plus 155 before this game. Had a big finish yesterday, 267. It's kind of been an up and down event so far, just looking score-wise. Obviously, don't get to see everyone every game, and don't get to see how they throw it or the hits they get or don't get. But started off 258, 245 yesterday on the double burn. Kind of hit a rough patch in the middle, but big 267 finish. And now after 213 and 185 to start, going to be in the 270s. .277 to be specific after that not so nice 8-pin. But much better place for it. And working on a bunch in a row.
Overall, she's had a pretty solid year, I would think.
Bye, friends.
Bye, Maria.
Bye, friends.
And in comparison to last season, for example, sure, I think there was a stretch very early on in the season, a few events where wasn't quite herself and got some things done, worked out, practice, and I can't recall the event, which bothers me, but she was a few frames away from making a TV show. Group step ladder final. Detroit. I gotta look it up. But to give herself that opportunity to make the tour championship, which is a goal of hers. It was Detroit. Lost to Daria Pyle in the Group B stepladder final.
Eventual champion at that event. Great shot for Stephanie to kick off the 10th. 237 still available. Starting game 4 on 23 and 4. Jody Westner throwing pins all over the place. Joining us in game 4, Maria Jose Rodriguez, who stopped by to say hi. Katie Sutphin and Ashley Rucker. Shannon Pluhowski, so a chance to get to 279, comes in light, first shot of the 10th. Drop her max down at 257. 236 in the books, Stephanie Johnson. Making Levi and Kenzie proud. 2 nice games here on Extra Frame. Talking about the Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship a little bit. Mentioned Leanne Hulsenberg just outside of the bracket at the moment. Needs a nice performance here, the U.S. Women's Open, to make her way to Richmond. Maria Jose Rodriguez currently finds herself 9th in the standings, heading into the U.S. Open. She's had a pretty nice season overall. Has been making match play, made one show earlier in the season.
To be honest with you, in my opinion, if Liz Johnson wasn't doing Liz Johnson things, and I would put Diana in that category because she kind of opened the season with, you know, the first major victory, and because of her own story, it was very that got a lot of attention to reviews, and it should have. because of what was going on last season and getting close and finishing fifth so many times. But I would say that Maria would be, yeah, she's kind of gone under the radar a little bit simply because the one TV show, for example. And I say this sometimes because of television. It's easy for someone to potentially forget, because this happened last year, for example. But hey, if I don't see a particular player on TV, that must mean that they're not bowling well, which doesn't necessarily mean that, and it generally doesn't mean that ever. In the case of Maria, she's been one of the most consistent players because she's put herself in position time and time again this season. Via the cast perspective and match play appearances, which of course you can't make TV unless you're involved in match play.
That's right, 1 foot ahead of the other in that situation. Maria 257, 234 in her first 2 games so far today. After going plus 107 yesterday, plus 198 through 10. We'll have scores up through 11 momentarily here.
That's kind of how you get up on the points list. Make 7 match play appearances, which is tied for 3rd this season. She's tied with Danielle McEwen and Kelly Kulick. And then the only 2 players above that number, Shannon O'Keefe with 8 and Liz Johnson with 9. That's pretty good company.
I would say so. Liz, Shannon, and Kelly, all winners this year. Danielle, 3 opportunities on Sunday. At minimum, made the last 3 shows.
She also missed an event too.
Forgot about that. That was an international event going on that week, right?
Correct.
Is that Orlando week?
That was Orlando. So there are several players actually just from that tournament alone who did miss an event. For some reason, I want to say that Shannon missed an event too. Both Shannons. I know Shannon Puhowski missed an event. She always helps run a long-standing youth event at the center she manages in Ohio.
I know that definitely happened last year. You're the guy out there this year. So.
Well, she missed Fountain Valley because she missed the photo shoot.
Well, there you go. So since I missed Fountain Valley, I wasn't in the photo shoot either, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
I wasn't at Fountain Valley. I also missed the photo shoot.
You did miss it. I was searching your name in our archives, but nothing came up.
I'm just going to put it out there that I believe you and Matt were out there in Fountain Valley, correct? Is that the one Matt made it out to?
Yes.
We're not seeing everything on Merlin. We have a database that we use for collect photos. I'm just saying, I don't know if everything. I'm saying there's some Emil and Matt photos that may have her buddy Greg Ellman taking photos.
It's not good.
Just saying, you guys would take advantage of the opportunity to.
I don't even know. I'm going to have to look at this now.
This is just me speculating right here.
Wow.
Speculations only.
I don't doubt, though. I really don't doubt it.
Greg's always good at working in a few kind of working shots, if you will, where we're doing our thing, and he's able to capture that. So. Melissa Carter makes it 2 in a row after the spare in the first over on 25 and 26. She's joined by Danielle Vandermeer. Take care of the washout and textbook cover. And Alicia Current as well on the pair.
I feel Danielle Vandermeer has bowled so well so far at this event, and I feel the back half of this season. This year it was St. Pete. Made a cut. She made one before that as well, so good to see her bowling well. Last year she was dealing with an injury. Injury bug is certainly a real thing.
Great shot from Maria. We first got to, or at least we first got to meet Danielle at the 2013 Women's Championships, where she ended up winning the singles title. But a very talented player on the international scene before that, representing the Netherlands as part of their, we'll get this out. As part of their youth team.
There you go.
I knew I could do it.
Hungry fella? There you go.
You're not you when you're hungry.
This is true. It's really true, actually. It really is.
But Vandermeer won 2 gold medals at the 2016 European Youth Championships, along with a gold and 2 bronze at the 2006 World Youth Championships, representing the Dutch national team. Also collected an NCAA title at Nebraska in 2009. All right, looks like scores are up after 11. New C squad leader, Brianna Cote.
How about that?
729 out of the gates to get ahead of Liz Culkin. Brianna at 365 over, Liz at 353. Verdi Crawley plus 324. Danielle Vandermeer, her 206 start, 247, 251, now at plus 317. Jody Wessner plus 305. Shannon O'Keefe, 279 over. Shannon Pluhowski, 257, 256, her last 2 games to get to 269 over. Stephanie Johnson, we saw her add 50 pins to the plus the last 2 games to get to plus 267 overall. Daria Payuk plus 261. Giselle Posh plus 255. Caitlin Johnson plus 240. Leanne Holsenberg with that strong performance, 277 last game here on Extra Frame. Gets to 232 over. Here on our featured pair, Maria Rodriguez plus 228. It's gone 721 today so far.
She's sort of become that quiet. All of a sudden I look up and There's Maria in match play. She's due too, but she talked a little bit about a few events ago. It might have been the Players Championship. She knew she was going to miss an event, so she was looking, kind of just forward to bowling well and really wanting to win and not have to worry about point situation and, obviously win and you're in. I didn't want to have to worry about that as the season progresses. And, players could, especially if you're close, you could start to press a little bit. You try not to think about it, etc. But, you want to be a part of that 16-player field.
Well, it looked like so much fun last year.
Last year was fantastic. I'm sure this year will be even better. Last year, and I didn't get a chance to witness it in its first year in its inception, but last year there was a very cool venue. Not that 2015 wasn't, because it was at the ITRC, which is a great venue. But I think, just getting out of being in a different place, for example, in comparison to the campus. Uptown Alley, which was in Midlothian, Virginia. Very cool venue. It was 2 levels. The upstairs was kind of the go out, relax, enjoy maybe the friends. Maybe you have a little corporate party up there. Maybe you just want to not worry about league bowl, even if you were a bowler. And a serious one, that you would go upstairs to get away from that if you wanted to just remove yourself from the seriousness of the sport for, an hour or two. It was so cool. Stage, live band, music, etc. And downstairs, very traditional league bowling. Downstairs, lanes, etc. Nice, really cool, like restaurant / with a wall that was an aquarium built into it. Very nice. Fans were great. Fans were awesome. TV show was packed. Great atmosphere. I'm sure the state of Virginia and Richmond will only build on that, considering Richmond Raceway, essentially the site, and the actual venue, Old Dominion building inside of the track grounds. A lot of cool stuff planned for the fans, so it's going to be an experience.
So much of an experience that you're going to skip it.
That is correct. Not like intentionally, but
You're sharing the wealth. That's what you're doing.
I am.
Sharing the wealth with others who did not get to experience it last year. So
It could be you. I hope it is. Go forth and enjoy.
scoring pace has settled a little down here. So hit the halfway point of a C squad round 2 at the 2017 U.S. Women's Open. We're seeing a few relatively high-scoring games on 23 and 24. We'll have no players plus. Still got a few players striking though. Stephanie Johnson started off with 5 in a row before a few 9 counts. Nicole Bauer putting together some strikes to our right.
She put together some strikes yesterday or last night.
She's been bowling very well. Of course, her sister Brooke bowling as well. We got to see them both make match play at the USBC Queens this year, and ironically enough, draw each other. I believe that was the opening round. I'm sure they were hoping to do that, except much later in the event. Great bowling family there. Father Gary, a USBC Hall of Famer. Just earned 50 years at the USBC Open Championships. Their uncle Daryl, a PBA Tour champion. Cousin Jonathan, a former exempt player on the PBA Tour as well.
Hey, talk about a bowling family.
Representing the great state of Pennsylvania.
A lot of great players come out of PA.
Frame just about ready to get underway. 25 and 26. Danielle and Alicia working on a few strikes in a row. Pair opens to start the 10th here. We'll see if Alicia Current can end that trend here. Vandermeer finishes with 186, Carter 173. Some work left to do for Alicia. Looks like we know a few players making their way to 23 and 24. You can see it on the scoreboard there. It looks like Giselle Pass, Shanoa Rhodes, Ghislaine Vandertol, and Diana Z will be joining us in just a few moments as soon as they conclude their game 4. Current tries something different on the fill, gets to 194 to lead the way. That'll do it for game 4 here on our featured pairs. Still a few folks finishing up around the house. A few more competitors making their way over. Just a moment, or Emil Williams Jr. has planned for this. And we have bonus cameras. Shazam. Shannon O'Keefe having a nice day so far. Can get to 259. This is her first shot of the 10th. Four-time PWBA Tour champion. Adds another strike down the 240s. Joined by Beth Campbell and Camilla Dammers. Late trip of the 7. My apologies. Emil, the resident pro here, let me join his world for a moment. So that was Camilla Dammers. Thanks, Emil.
Sometimes I still think I could be wrong, so don't thank me yet.
May be wrong, but it sounds so right. A few familiar faces going to be joining us on 25 and 26. Actually kicked off our broadcast here for C Squad Round 2. Johanna Puentes, Lindsay Boomershine, and Amanda Fry. Looks like they'll be joining us next. Shannon getting all the carry. 259.
Shannon would go also, I think, in that category of, yeah, she's going to make her first television appearance as a player. This year she has added a role and some lines on the resume as a sideline reporter. Our broadcast at CBS Sports Network, but mentioned 8 match play appearances. She did have some struggles. She missed a few cashes, missed some events Detroit in the Players Championship, presented by GoBowling.com. Wasn't feeling right physically. She thought she was. She got back under the tutelage of Team USA head coach, gold coach, her coach, ball rep, Brian O'Keefe, and they kind of went to work during an event. During the Orlando stop, he gave her a different thing to focus on each round. And so she kind of worked on it on the fly, essentially. And St. Pete, she made, I'm pretty sure she made a group step ladder, and then #1 seed in Rochester. And how about that? He must have knew I was talking about.
Had to. Had to. There he is, Brian O'Keefe.
There he is.
That's right.
All right, game 5 getting underway. A few more to go here. C squad. We will have A squad hit the double burn later tonight. 7:30 p.m. Eastern start time for that. Right here on Bowl TV on Extra Frame. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Emil Williams Jr. and Matt Cannizzaro. Appreciate everyone joining us, spending some time partying on here on Extra Frame.
That's such an Aaron Smith quote right there.
Thank you.
You welcome.
I was pretty proud of it.
That's
Highlight of my commentating day so far, because most of what I've offered hasn't been very helpful, probably. But
that's so Aaron Smith. We should put a. I don't know how we can do it, but that's so Aaron Smith. What are Aaron Smith items? And that would be one of them.
all right, I didn't even know I had items,
Oh yeah,
but now I do.
show.
Items for show.
Have you checked Facebook lately?
Have I?
Yes.
No.
We might have some good viewers out there chilling. Folks, if you are certainly watching, feel free to drop a comment, say hello as we begin the second half of the C Squad Round 2 block here. Our this round's live post essentially is a video of the leader entering day number 2, Liz Colkin. And then my guy Sal is watching. So feel free to say hello. We had some good, interesting conversations earlier today, Aaron Smith, during during who bowl today? B Squad.
B squad was on the lanes to kick things off.
During B Squad today, I had some good folks reach out and as they normally do. Our viewers are fantastic. Ask good questions. One of them was from Christopher Jester. He asked, did I think that Danielle would win one of her 3 shows? And then I asked him. He said he hopes she wins them all. And that prompted some more convo. And he just commented in regards to the future faces, essentially, future of the sport, legends, Liz, Kelly. He mentioned players like Daria, Danielle, Shannon O'Keefe, for example, um, Steph. Said the sport's better when Danielle is winning. The tour is better. And he talked about the more we see all of these players, every time we watch television and we see the PWBA, it's another opportunity to be in front of others who can make a difference, essentially, on tour. It's a good combo. IOC, of course, Olympics and such, and it was solid. I don't think there's any shortage of. We've got legends, we've got youth, and we literally do have all players in between.
It's a good time to be out on the PWBA tour.
Absolutely. Rob mentioned he talked about a brief scenario that we discussed a little bit yesterday. Excuse me, with Player of the Year race and how Danielle has a chance, certainly on paper, considering what she has left television show-wise, and obviously still a full week essentially at this tournament. It could happen. It's not mathematically impossible still.
That's true, but I think Liz, based off her early performance so far, definitely not going to make it easy.
No, and really this is the deciding factor. I think if Liz is anywhere near, I think at worst, match play, which you don't want to go penciling people in, but
probably consider writing her name with pen.
yeah, I think, I don't think anyone would be upset.
I think they'd be more surprised if you had to ask for the whiteout. And of course, after the opening round today, Liz bowled on the fresh. No surprises, sitting second overall for her squad. Almost ran down Aaron McCarthy, who is our clubhouse leader at the moment. 441 over. Liz at 436. So definitely in a position where she knows she can take advantage of it. So we get closer to that 24 game total, 32 game mark, and potentially 56 games in the books by Saturday.
"56 games.
Let's see, after 56 games, though, you go to downtown Plano. Party a little bit. Oh, looked like a nice little area.
It did.
Got a few nice restaurants, establishments where you can grab a beverage or two. Relax a little bit.
Extra cream Chesapeake open.
So, Emil, I have to ask, since it was just brought up, you have 3 different cereal boxes placed right in front of the booth here. They're not large cereal boxes. They're the little tiny ones. Single use. This has been something that's been discussed I really don't know the backstory. If the good folks that watch Extra Frame do, then we don't need to rehash that, if you will. But they're just sitting there. Are they in a certain order, or is it?
No.
Does it vary from week to week?
Well, it did at first, but nothing has been removed per se. It's only been in addition to. But the first story, the original story, I do enjoy cereal. In fact, after a good hard day's work at the U.S. Women's Open, I got home before falling sound asleep. I had a bowl of cereal. Tied me over.
That sounds delightful.
Because there's try to eat something that's cool, quick, and won't do too much damage on the body. Nonetheless, and full disclosure, there's no cereal sponsors or anything. So when I say these cereal names, there's nothing to it. So one morning for breakfast, as we gathered to depart from our respective hotel, the breakfast area had cereal snack boxes, the variety pack, so to speak. And so I said, oh man, I'll have something to snack on later in the day. So I grabbed some Fruit Loops. And of course, after the tournament was over, realized I still had the Fruit Loops unopened. Didn't get a chance to eat them. So I said, okay, I'll save them for next week. So I put them in our equipment tub and brought it with us, put it on the truck. And it traveled, it made the journey. And still didn't eat it. This time I put it out on the table. Went to the hotel. Breakfast again. This hotel had snack cereal variety boxes. I said, oh, let's grab one more. So then, put it on the table on the exit, when we were streaming, just like now. And then all of a sudden, it kind of became a thing at that point. I wasn't eating the cereal, and then it was really at that point about, well, maybe I can just kind of make a collection and have them displayed on our broadcast area, wherever it is in a particular day or center. It would be like, having like people's desks are decorated with like bobbleheads and various items like that. This is kind of my thing, if you will. Problem is, last few hotels haven't had any cereal, so I'm just gonna have to bring my own.
All right.
That was kind of it. It was like kind of the chase at that point. Like, okay, which city will have what cereal? And then I was kind of let down. So that's how that started. It started really, I wanted to eat Fruit Loops to snack on during the day, and it never happened.
That is a delicious treat. I'm sorry that you've been sad that you haven't been able to find more, but I got good news for you. We now have standings after 12.
That sounds way better.
Tasty indeed. All right. Once again, a flip at the top of the standings for C Squad. Liz Culkin moves back to the top of the standings for this group. Plus 377. Once again, looking to get to 441 over the overall leading total. Aaron McCarthy last round. Brianna Cote plus 365. Verdi Crawley been pretty stellar since that opening 168 game. Now up to 362 over. Shannon O'Keefe, who caught a bonus 10th frame of her last game on the way to 259, now at 338 over. Jody Wessner plus 322. Stephanie Johnson, hometown favorite here, plus 304. Danielle Vandermeer, plus 303. Shampluhowski now up to 283 over. Caitlin Johnson, plus 267. Giselle Pass on our featured pair, plus 264. Diana Z, plus 248. Leanne Holsenberg, plus 241. Those among some of the highlights. You can find those and more. pwba.com/live. Right there on the homepage of pwba.com, you get to see the U.S. Women's Open happening now.
Right now.
Click on that guy. Take you to the place. You can see not only, well, obviously if you're here, you found a way to get here, but takes you to the live stream. Got scores, rosters, oil pattern info, and more. Cool things happening there. We've quickly progressed to the 10th frame on 25 and 26. Striking certainly helps pick up the pace. Saw Puentes have a 230 opening game here on Extra Frame, and thinking 250s with one more strike. And trips the 4 late. 256 still out there. Lindsay Boomershine with the cover, 220. Amanda Fry, 269. Coming to you from the left. Vandertoel also on the left side, makes it 4 out of 5. Quality game right there. Johanna Puentes. .256.
Representing Colombia, travels often with Juliana Franco. They travel together. Break there for Shanoa Rhodes.
Past Junior Team USA member. Another good bowling family right there. Her brother Zach. Champion at the USBC Open Championships back in 2016. So much Vanderbilt going on around us right now.
A lot of Vandy.
Anchor down.
Andy has become that, that another school that you just always find yourself talking about, because they're beginning to churn out the alums who are making the jump to the PWA.
Have Amanda Fry finishing up 257 here. Giselle Pass, first year on tour. Looking to make it 4 in a row. One pair to the right. Jordan Newham, a current Commodore, I believe. I think she's
correct.
I think she's still got a few more years, but have a few younger players in the field who can compete, win scholarship money through the SMART program.
Zell Poss. Aaron, you know, she obviously she made TV. But do you recall do you know how it happened?
Well,
I think you checked in that day. You were watching.
I'm stretching. I'm drawing a blank at the moment. I'm not going to lie.
That's no problem. It was a
Was it through the group step ladder?
no, it was in the position round.
Position round, okay.
St. P. Clearwater Open, and sometimes I draw blanks too. But I'm pretty sure it was winner take all. It was whoever wins the match or wins that game moves on, I think. Either way, it was a 10-frame match between her and Rocio. And when I say 10 frames, not of course, well, it's 10 frames. Meaning, no, it took every shot. It was not over by any means early. She had an open late in the 9th frame. She missed a 7-count spare and had to double to earn the spot. Double and good count. So we did some high count if I'm not mistaken. At the first one. At the second, it held. Got the third. And went on to make TV. It was a great match. One of the best I've seen in person. So after bowling 3 events and not cashing, she then bowls St. Petersburg Clearwater and marks a check in every category: cash, match play, and championship round appearance or television appearance. It's pretty cool.
Can't ask for much more than that. Looks like we'll be transitioning to game 6. 25 and 6 a little bit sooner rather than later, perhaps. We got all of our players here. Brooke Bauer, Caitlin Johnson, and Birdie Crawley.
Let's say hello to Ron Johnson. Commented on Facebook. Ron said, "I can't believe the season is almost over." Me neither, Ron. It is come and gone. And we must cherish these lasting moments and opportunities together, Ron. We have been royally entertained by the bowling and the extra frame coverage. Well, you can thank Aaron Smith for that. The guy's an entertainer.
Say what now?
You're an entertainer?
What? Nah.
Ron says he's also looking forward to match play, even though he's going to have to stay up until. Oh, that's a different time. I haven't heard that one. Ron called it "stupid o'clock" in a funny way. He was being funny to see the finalists. So if he's going to have to stay up late, where would Ron be? Where is Ron?
I don't know.
Let's see. Match play is scheduled to start.
That final day, it's 6 p.m. Eastern. We looked this up yesterday. So.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
10, 11. I mean, but we don't know if Ron's on the East Coast or on the Eastern time zone.
That's true.
Could be somewhere else where it is indeed much later than 10 p.m. Eastern by the time they get done bowling on Saturday.
But regardless, Ron, if you're ready to watch it, stupid o'clock, we'll be here. all day, every hour.
Absolutely. And at the very least, Ron, you know you can watch the finals live on CBS Sports Network. And that will be at noon Eastern, Sunday, August 6th. So if you won't be in town, won't be at home, should have set your DVR. Good shot.
Had a pair of shots come up light on 26, so Caitlin Johnson already making a ball change. Here on 25, and that one looked pretty good. 7-pin didn't cooperate.
Let's say hello also to Judy Stenhouse. Hey, Judy.
Duh.
Always watching from Florida in the old dreaded 710 there. Hope all is good with you as well, Judy. We are good here in Plano, Texas. There is also no re-oil all day. Lanes are oiled in the morning. And the first squad of that day bowls on the fresh, and that is it. So we are in the burn squad now. A squad will bowl later tonight on the double burn, if you will. And then tomorrow, C squad will kick things off at 8 a.m. Eastern in the morning on the fresh, followed by the A squad on the burn, and then the B squad will have the double burn. And then, of course, we'll also have the exciting, very, in some cases, tough, in some cases, joy, as everyone either is watching, is here in the bowling center. I expect several people to be inside the building tomorrow night, as obviously the first cut, the cut to the top third of the field, which is 38, will be made after our bowling concludes tomorrow. Once that cut is made, those 38 bowlers will return on Friday for an additional 8 games. After those 8 games are complete, then cut to the top 24 for match play. I think this is going to be a very, very, very fun match play portion. Aaron Smith.
I'd have to agree. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Wasn't on hand last year in the Chicagoland area, but it seems like scoring pace a little bit higher this year, and I think that's going to translate not only into some fun matches, but as folks are trying to run down their opponents and run down that top 5. Certainly a chance to see some big games to more than likely get some folks close, get them into the hunt, get them there, whoever it may be. But as you said, it's going to be a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it may present. Yeah, I think it's going to present the same feels, emotions that a U.S. Women's Open would elude and elicit like normal. But I think if you throw in the possibility of maybe a couple extra strikes per game, adds a little different flair. And more exciting. Could be.
That sounds fantastic. Sign me up.
I'm signed up and ready to go. For me, a lot about this season has been about what new players might make that type of jump or make that type of appearance. So I'll be looking for what new faces, if you will, or those who are still young, maybe make their first match play appearance at the U.S. Women's Open, or the breakthrough candidates that we've been talking about so far this week. That's what I look forward to.
By the way, remember yesterday when we were talking and I got on the subject of Erin McCarthy, and I said I wouldn't be surprised to see her leading at a U.S. Women's Open sometime soon?
You did say that. You did say that.
Not to pat myself on the back or anything, but
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about it.
I did know the work though. That's the cool part too.
So you got a lot of pins today.
That's a lot in the fresh, and there's actually a video now up on PWBA Facebook page. We had a few quick thoughts with Erin after her performance today, so Matt Canzaro's expert video work now up in the social space. But yeah, for Erin, and obviously with this event, you know, you look at other events and folks talk about, you know, you look at Queens, and it's two separate events essentially. It kind of starts over. You see Erin having a really good look on the fresh, and you would think she bowled well on the burn, and you think the double burn would also play to her strengths, and this could be a moment where you can see that see her put up a big number like that, give everyone something else to chase. And obviously match play changes a little bit, pace kind of changes, a few less players on the pair, but pattern's not changing, just how often it's attacked. And great shot there from Caitlin Johnson. First double. Just wrapping up game 5 on 23 and 24. Giselle Pass, nice 245. She's going to lead the way, and then some. Talked a little bit about Nicole Bauer earlier today. There's her sister Brooke. Women's Championships titleist. Also connecting for 2 in a row.
See Diana leave a few 10 pins. She's gonna had that look on her face. What else can you do? Throw it pretty good here.
I think she'll be fine with moving on to the next pair.
Sometimes that's just the way it is. I'm not sure if Giselle Poss would like to move on. Oh. It's a field shot. It's over. The game's over. But
It's standing up there, mocking us all.
it's a 4-5 up there. The old 2-piece.
Diana Z, 173 with a strike. 171 with slightly less. So now done with 5 on 23 and 24. Already into game 6 on 25 and 6. Mentioned Verdi's name a few times today. Slow start after the big opening block. Almost ran down Liz Culkin for the top spot yesterday. There's bounce back. Probably thrown quite a few shots that look exactly like that. Actually just posted a story about Caitlin Johnson on bowl.com and the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook page. Caitlin, fresh off a great showing at the Junior Gold Championships presented by the brands of Ebonite International in Cleveland just a few weeks ago. Actually, it's going to be on CBS Sports Network this upcoming Tuesday, August 8th. Take on Allie Leyendecker for the under 20 girls title. Interesting summer for Caitlin. Now part of the very strong Weber International collegiate program. Helped the Warriors to a runner-up finish at the ITCs this year, but pretty much the second semester was fighting an ankle issue. She had broken the ankle a few years before playing softball, and it had the surgery done to try to get things back to normal. And actually still had 2 screws left in her ankle, and one of them actually ended up kind of popping out and was doing things it shouldn't have been doing. That caused some discomfort for Caitlin as she finished up the season, just missed making match play at the Queens before finally taking the opportunity to slow down a little bit, see what the deal was. Then she found out. Was on crutches for just a week, and a week after that was back on the lanes, hoping to be ready for Junior Gold. She wasn't 100% sure she was going to make it then. Was able to make her way through the largest field tournament history. Making good shots just like that. Evan Carey cooperate a little bit more, but Caitlin just 18, making her debut this week at the USWO. Going to be part of Junior Team USA in 2018 based off that performance at Junior Gold.
Looks like a pretty good young player coming up. She was the anchor on television in the Intercollegiate Team Championships for Weber as a freshman.
Defending champion team as well. That's
indeed.
They had lost some players, but still that coaching staff over there, Randy Stoughton, Del Warren.
I mean, but that's obviously a good sign for a program like that, coaches like that, to be able to trust that role to a freshman. You think about the days, I don't know if this was true in college bowling at all, but just think about other sports where it's been prominent, where freshmen don't start or those kind of things. So yeah, certainly understand it is 2017, but still, it does take a lot and a lot of trust. And then obviously that player has to be overly talented and have the if you will, the it to be able to say, hey, take this anchor position on national television, even throughout, of course, leading up to that part. They had some great matches to get to television to defend their title, or try to at least, of course.
Definitely a lot of good, great points there. That talk about the Weber team from 2016 winning. We actually have a few of those players in the field this week. Verdi being one of them. Daria Payuk as well, and Desiree Negron, who will be returning to Extra Frame. For a quartet of Shampuhowski, Diane Hasty, and Jody Westner. We'll now see on 23 and 24. So that was the Weber promotional hour here on Extra Frame. Just based off of location, location, location. But I want to say, and it's one of those things where it's been so long ago, but Mr. Canzaro and I came here, right here, to Plano Super Bowl, I want to say back in 2013. Gentleman standing right over your right shoulder, Chris Barnes, has an annual tournament out here, and we actually came out and live streamed it. And that day we had some issues with the broadcast. We were using our current setup for one of the first times, and I remember that name, Caitlin Johnson. She's originally from Beaumont, Texas, I believe, living in North Carolina now. But that was 2013, so that was 4 years ago. So, 14, 15 years old at the time. Just remember her bowling very well. Obviously, that has continued on here. Kicking off the 10th with the strike. Gonna make a not so bold prediction this game.
What you got there, Cotton?
Shampuhowski is gonna shoot a lot.
I have a new name for Shannon.
New name for Shannon.
I don't know if it's a name. It's more of a comparison. I think I've mentioned this before, but and I've seen her do it twice. And none more impressive than at this very event last season. Basically chasing down first the #1 seed after qualifying 24th for match play. But if you follow basketball, you're probably aware of LeBron James and all that he does. Best player on the planet.
I'm familiar
Some
with
people.
him.
Go ahead.
I text him from time to time.
You do.
I do. got his number.
Thought we were going to see him actually last week at junior gold, but he
Obviously, free agency ain't going so well, so what else would he be doing?
yeah, and he spent a lot of time in Vegas at the summer league. But anyway, great player. You know, everyone knows what he does, yada yada. But defensively, he's become known for his chase down blocks, where when you think you have a wide open layup or fast break layup, and all of a sudden here comes LeBron James to block your shot. Generally off the glass. Sometimes he just grabs it with two hands or makes you look silly. And I've seen Shannon essentially chase down, whether it's in the case of the U.S. Women's Open, the number 1 seed, top seeds in standard events to make TV. And so I think she's you got some LeBron-esque type qualities here with the never out of it, obviously, and it's still in front of her. So if she sees it, like LeBron sees this person going to the hole and he's going 100 miles an hour to block the shots. If Shannon sees you in front of her still, she's not done. It's not over.
I like it.
I have to figure out the proper name for it. But maybe I'll ask her about it.
Well, there's obviously the Ohio connection, so.
That's true. I certainly hope people know what I'm talking about, because me explaining that and
Game 7.
no one knows what I'm talking about. And that's a good point. I would encourage, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Google, or I'm sure it's probably on YouTube somewhere. Game 7 NBA Finals 2016. LeBron block on Andre Iguodala.
I feel you made that way too complex.
Did I? I'm sorry.
Let's see. We're going to try this right now. LeBron.
You could probably just go LeBron chase down. I bet it's a mix of it.
LeBron block. First thing that pops up.
He's right, actually. LeBron block. LeBron block, folks.
Poor Iggy, man.
Indeed. But yeah, Shannon showed me something last year. Not that I'm somebody special, but when you get a chance to like really see the players week in and week out, and you know they've got all the accolades in the world, but then you get a chance to really see how they go about their business on a week-to-week basis, and for her to go from 24th to 1st at the U.S. Women's Open, that's the kind of stuff that makes people think you're a legend. That's how you become a legend.
All right, settling into part of Game 6. Got that kind of a weird flow to how and when people are finishing, but got Game 6 here in front of us. Game 6 already done on 25-6. But scores up through 5. Liz Culkin holding on to the top spot, plus 391 through 13 total games. Shannon O'Keefe making the jump into second for C Squad, plus 375. Verdi Crawley, plus 370. Brianna Cote, plus 355. Stephanie Johnson, plus 350. Jody Wessner, plus 333. Giselle Poss, we saw our last game, plus 309. Danielle Vandermeer plus 306. So Shampuhowski, who we mentioned, caught her a little bit earlier, pair of 250 games back to back, slowed down a little bit. Currently sitting at plus 280. .441, the number on top of the standings. Erin McCarthy, team trials winner. Diane Hasty, local player here, coming from Arlington.
Shout out to HQ.
Sitting at minus 100 heading into this game, so a little bit of work to do, but off to a pretty solid start here. Game number 6, looking to finish strong for the day. Jody having a little fun with that one. Makes it 5 out of 6, getting that one back from way downtown. Emil, we were talking to our buddy Ron a little bit earlier, and England is where he's coming from.
How about that?
So, crossing the pond. Thanks for tuning in, Ron. Always cool to see the sport have such a reach. Obviously, very, very diverse field when you look at the international players from week to week out here on the PWBA Tour. But we appreciate coverage going global. Branca looking to make a move here. A few pairs to our right.
Oh,
Sparing the first and hasn't missed since. Going to be up in the 9th frame in a moment. Shannon is kind of doing the opposite of what I predicted this game.
well, part of it's just tough carry. Maybe a ball change, maybe not. If Tiffany is watching, what's up, Tiff? She's an avid viewer on Extra Frame. She generally doesn't comment, but when she does, she drops like cool gifs and memes and such.
Why aren't you a meme yet, guy?
You know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about memes sometimes. I feel you don't always want to be a meme.
So
There's some funny ones, and you know, but
I did see a good GIF opportunity with you yesterday. There was, I don't remember who it was, but it was down on the high end. And someone had like 7, 8 in a row, and you're just kind of walking down that way. You had your drink with you, and you're sipping on it, and you saw what I was watching. Someone had 7, 8
first
in a row.
let me just, I don't mean to interrupt you, just for the record, it was a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I meant no ill will by it. But yes, this is sipping on your delicious Texas Cola drink. And you're just kind of moseying along, taking a sip, and all of a sudden you saw 7, 8 in a row, and you're still drinking. Felt like the eyebrows went up, and you just kind of. I just did it, but obviously Extra Frame can't see it. But I saw it and I chuckled inside. I said, "That's all right there," because I knew you saw what I saw.
How about that? Did I put it down and go to that particular pair or no?
Yeah, you hung out and you watched, and fortunately the player did not continue to strike.
I was looking for some caffeinated beverages. They didn't have tea yesterday, so I couldn't get any hot tea as I generally like to. Randy Branca, as Aaron mentioned, she left the 10 pin in the 9th, but she first shot in the 10th was a good one. Speaking of Dr. Pepper, it actually might have been a Pepsi.
Probably should have been if it wasn't.
I think it was.
I think it was. There we go.
Jody Westner about to step up in the 9th. Where's Jody at in the standings?
I think Joey's been bowling pretty well.
They've grown with the spare. Front 4 for her, and then 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare, 8 spare, 9 spare.
Joey's actually at plus 330, so overall in the standings that puts her pretty high on C squad. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th overall in C squad.
Yeah, hold.
Looked at a few folks cheering her on back here and said, "Good miss." Everybody likes those.
Indeed. I think Shannon O'Keefe, or excuse me, Pluhowski, as Shannon O'Keefe is stretching near us. Pluhowski made a ball change frame before. She's going to do it here too. And bang.
Definitely a different rock there.
Does something a little different based on her pin carry. Her previous equipment selection was laying off as it entered the 1-2, in my opinion.
Especially on this right lane, had gone 2-pin back in the 6th frame, and then flat 7 followed up
This
in
ball
the 8th.
hustles. Wow.
Got on the horse.
That ball did get on the horse.
Still not impressed enough. She's going to try something else.
No.
Yeah, it was definitely a little more. Guess that would be left to right, attacking the lanes from the left side with the previous ball she had in her hands. It's definitely fighting the good fight to really get into a roll, and yeah, certainly no problems there.
Jody Lesnar make it 7 in a row. 257 for Brandy Brink, I believe. Down on the high end.
Diane, is he going to have the chance to bounce back after a 171 game in game number 5? 243 still out there for the two-time Queens champion. Jody, some local connections out here in the Metroplex area. I believe her father lives out this way. See her posting from time to time about coming up to bowl tournaments with him. After this game, Texas, Ohio, the Ohio State.
The
I'm going to be pretty proud of Jody showing here.
Although, you know, she does coach Toledo.
Makes it 279. Nice game, Jody.
Nice game. The Women's Series Shark Championship back in 08. Regional titles on the PBA regional that same year as well. What it always gets me is the 4 Hall of Fames.
It's a lot of hoffs.
That is. And their accolades go on and on. What I read was just some of the professional accolades, but I mean, you can just keep on going. Some of the state, city, and other events, Wonky Classics and different things like that. You know, the World Team Challenge team winner. I have to find that somewhere in our video room at HQ. Man, we have to look for that if we have it.
Yeah, vault.
Indeed. Off season's coming up, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Game 6 has come to a close here in our feature pairs, but good news is we're bowling 8. So we got 2 more to go. Got a few competitors ready to go, it appears, as well. Shannon O'Keefe going to be making her way to 23 and 24. Either that or she just likes hanging out by us.
She's cool, though. I think she does like hanging out, but she was stretched.
Just a reminder, if you haven't got your fill of Bowl TV and Extra Frame, coming up later tonight, A Squad hits the lanes for their second round of qualifying today on the Double Burn. That'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 local time here in Plano, Texas.
In the words of Bart Scott, can't wait.
Well played.
All right, folks, Aaron mentioned who was only 2-hour pairs. They are here. Leanne Holstenberg, Christy Rosberg, Nicole Bauer, 25 and 26. Camilla Dahmers, Nadal, I actually believe it is. Recently, Shannon O'Keefe and Beth Campbell. We'll take a small break. Very small. I'm going to be back in just a second. Game 7. Not the finals. Just game 7 of 8. Back with you in a bit here on Extra Frame. Well, all right, folks. While we were briefly away, Camilla Dahmers said, I'm about to do something really cool. Has the front 8. And here on 23 and 24.
Sir, we have a 100% guarantee. 100%. It doesn't get any better than 100% guarantee from Anthony Simonson, who grew up in this very facility pretty much. Spent countless, endless, priceless hours on these lanes here at Plano Super Bowl. Knows this place inside and out, giving us his 100% guarantee that Camilla Dahmers is going to finish this thing off here on lanes 23 and 24.
Well, let's find out. Shannon O'Keefe, nice shot there in the 9th for a double.
Still 2 perfect games so far at this year's U.S. Women's Open. First one by Jennifer Higgins. Second one, Christina Rosberg. Here's Dahmers now, front 8, lane 23. And the 3-pin remains. Anthony Simonson
No. You put the Canizaro Black Cloud.
is blaming me for that shot. The Canizaro Black Cloud. I would say in more
It's fair.
cases than not, Camilla Dahmers probably would deliver in that situation. So I like Simonson's confidence. That's how you get to be a PBA champion and have the young swagger that he has out there on the lanes. And I envy the confidence, and still pretty envious of Camilla's performance here. It's 8 out of 9, so solid game here in Game 7 either way. As we wind down to the conclusion of our second qualifying block of the day.
Washout conversion from Beth Campbell. And now O'Keefe. Trying to get in the 240s. Need some help here. Settle for the 220s here with the spare. This game went by really quickly.
All right, while Emil tends to some offside business here, Aaron McCarthy, the player to beat. Bowled this morning on the fresh. Bowled very well, averaged 235 and change. Highest block of this year's event so far. She's leading the way at plus 441. Liz Johnson, our 3-time defending champion, is second at plus 436, but your C squad leader, Shannon O'Keefe, right here in our featured pair, so she'll be in the 220s with count here. She's at plus 423, so she actually is going to move into the lead here. If she can knock all 10 down on her fill ball. So part of what we do, of course, is catch up with the leader after each squad. And with the game to go, it looks like Shannon O'Keefe will be that person. If all goes well on her fill ball here, again, Aaron McCarthy plus 441, Shannon O'Keefe plus 423 coming into this game. But Liz Colkin close behind as well at plus 413. Brianna Cote hanging in at plus 411. Jody Westner 409. O'Keefe gets 7 on her field ball there. For a 222 effort. That puts her at plus 445. She is ahead of McCarthy. Of course, not sure at this point how Culkin, Cote, and Westner finished up, but you can see it's going to be a tight race for that top spot. And while there's still a long way to go in this event, always nice to be the leader, be around the top, be the player to beat. Just means you have a nice little head start. The first goal, of course, is to make the top 38. And that will come tomorrow night. We'll whittle the field down from 114 to the top 38. That is goal number 1. Looking past that would be confident, but possibly foolish. One small goal at a time, one game at a time, one shot at a time even. But of course, you want to get what you can. But right now, a very tight group up at the top of the standings, and Dahmers looking to get to the 270s. And make her move. Cut line plus 189. Still, of course, with an entire squad to hit the lanes tonight on the double burn of this 43-foot oil pattern. Dahmers finishes with 269, O'Keefe 222, Campbell 198. But Mr. Williams, as we wrap up game number 7 here, I've been intrusive enough in this setup here. Aaron Smith has returned. I'm gonna go write a story. You're going to do your thing. Aaron Smith's going to talk to you about it. And then we'll reconvene here in about one game as we try to figure out who our leader's going to be. And then we tell the world about it on social media, pwba.com. That's what we do.
He didn't say it, guy.
It's not news yet. It's not news yet. It's news in progress. The news is in progress for now, folks. We'll see you on the links.
Rosberg. Again, one of 2 300s yesterday. Big double. 9 count will give her 230. Struggle this game here for Nicole Bauer. Just 1 strike. 3 splits. 2 left open. 231 for Rosberg. Now Leanne Holstenberg will just to finish things out here. Linda Walbaum, Liz Culkin. And Jolene Plainforce from Sweden on 23 and 24. Nice shot there from Culkin, of course, your day 1 leader. Nice shot. Holstenberg had the front 8 a few games back on 23 and 24. .44 there for Bauer. .204 for Leanne Olsenberg. And time for game number 8.
How about that?
How about it?
First chance today to see Liz Culkin. Led the opening round. Liz has continued to bowl well throughout the block, but several other competitors definitely making a run. See if they're able to get to that number. As I believe Matt mentioned, Shannon O'Keefe being in the 220s last game, able to surpass the 441 over posted by Aaron McCarthy a little bit earlier today. As soon as we have scores through 15, we'll let you know. Start doing the math ourselves.
Aaron, we got a viewer comment. I met the gentleman earlier for the first time. The name sounded very familiar, so not sure if it'll sound familiar to you. It probably will. Kenny Stevens.
Does sound familiar?
Okay. Well, backstory here is his daughter is bowling.
Chelsea?
Yes. Well, you know it already.
Well, I just remember seeing Chelsea. I knew her last name was Stevens, so
Okay.
I'm connecting dots here. I don't know more of the story, though.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, just saw him, talked to him, and he, just thanked us essentially for the hard work and good work we do here on whether it's Bowl TV or Bowl TV on Extra Frame, and we talk about the no chat on Extra Frame and essentially what I do to combat that, essentially, for folks who would like to kind of chime in. But he told me on if he's in the chat on Bowl TV, for example, what is his handle is. And it is Bluegrass 300.
Now that definitely sounds much more familiar.
It's a
So,
monumental day today.
monumental indeed.
I met the man behind the handle. Good guy.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stevens. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everybody supporting us here, as do these athletes here on Extra Frame. 2017 U.S. Women's Open. C Squad getting close to the end. Not gonna lie, I wanted to beat the rush after the block, so went ahead and made an order while he stepped away. And kind of came in a little bit early, and looking forward to having this pulled pork sandwich.
Told you he's going to come by quick, man.
He came by a little quick. But we have responsibilities first.
Indeed. Stacey Sterry. Strike. Spare. Third frame offering. Good shot. You know, from a lane play perspective during this C squad, or C squad, I'm not sure what to make of what we've seen today. I don't know if it's quote unquote following script, considering it looked like to me B squad this morning started a little further right than what A squad started yesterday on the fresh. Some players are certainly left playing around 15 or so. What do you think?
Well, you've been the fortunate one getting to start up the live stream every day, so can't say I've been able to necessarily be here at the beginning of the block, kind of see how it breaks down or how players have been navigating. But it does seem folks are a little bit closer to where we saw them at yesterday. So I think they're moving left quicker. I think probably in part to the players who scored well yesterday. They saw things that they like, certain equipment in their hands, certain angles they're trying to play, and they want to get there quicker. So maybe they cheated a little bit further left for the right-handers a little bit quicker. Certainly could be the case. Obviously, with B squad, they were on the burn yesterday, so they saw a little bit of friction. Probably saw how A squad started, and obviously that seemed like we're going to see some really big scores out of the gate, so maybe they didn't vary too much. So I was going to say probably right-handers a little bit further left than what we saw yesterday. So we'll see how that affects good folks on A squad coming up next. That's for my not so expert eye.
At some point we'll get an expert. Next squad. Rich Barnes was our resident expert in that category. Joined us twice on the broadcast. like everyone is in game 8.
So that means it should be just a matter of moments before Kathy Watka has the scores. Kathy's the best. I'm glad we got her.
She's on it. Does not waste any time. Is about business and getting these scores in. He walks the volunteers and such through the process to make sure everyone follows, understands, it's uniform. Sends agates afterwards. Asks us, do we need anything when she isn't busy? So I could not agree more. Very thankful to have Kathy Watka.
Let's see, that's all we had to do was compliment how awesome she is, and now we have scores. Shannon O'Keefe, 445 over.
Wow.
Now in the proverbial driver's seat. Jody Westner, we saw her have the big 279 in game number 6 here on Extra Frame. It's tied with Brianna Cote at plus 423. Stephanie Johnson, a very consistent block. Let's get to 408 over. Liz Culkin, our feature pair, plus 402. Verdi Crawley, plus 388. Danielle Vandermeer, plus 362. We have a drop off for C Squad after that. Alicia Current, plus 311. So let's see, Shannon O'Keefe, a few pairs to our right. Start with a double, 8 spare, 9 spare, another double. Maxes her out at 267. We have Brianna on our featured pair right now, looking to connect for her second double. Max score 268. Jody Westner a little bit further down to the left. Same could be said for Stephanie Johnson. Liz is going to connect for her first double here in game 8. Not sure if the firepower is going to be here in the final game, though. A few folks ahead of her bowling well.
Another good shot there from Sterry. Quality double there from Stacy, and then for a break there for Liz Colkin. Quality shot there from Cote as well. Bree has been bowling well. You know, she too went through some, has gone through some struggles a little bit this season. Forgot which week it was. She took off. Might have been Lincoln or Detroit, one of the two. But went home, practice, actually had talked about and was in the very early stages potentially of making a decision in regards to dropping bowling ball weight from 15 to 14. She had a few balls at 14 pounds during the Queens, but did not bowl with them, but had them in case she wanted to try it. After the event, felt like she did not perform to her standards, and so decided to drill a few up. After, I think, Wichita, practice bowled an event locally to see how she felt with them, and thought she would be able to create some success. Help increase rev rate, better entry angle. Kind of since that point, she has gradually continued to improve on the season, and now at the last event, third major of the season, arguably the biggest event of the year. She's in a pretty good position.
I think she found some momentum at the Lucy, bowling with Stu Williams, I believe. Put together a nice performance there. Bringing that back a little bit further north in Texas now. Here to Plano.
Wow. The last couple shots on the right lane for Liz is talk about splitting the 8-9. PWA champion there, two of them. Culkin and most recently Payon. Cote as well. Throwing some no doubters. Well, that 7-10, obviously it hurt, of course. When you throw shots that good, and of course the early open in the third, several single pin spares. When you throw shots surrounding that 7-10 that good, that's tough.
Another player going to be in great position heading into the final 8. .190 will drop her to plus 392, but going to be looking at pretty solid heading into the final block here. Definitely have a little bit better picture of the number after A Squad hits the lanes tonight. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, about an hour and a half from now. They'll be shoeing up. Shot run's a little bit high for Daria. Pays big time price though, 4-6 in the ninth. She made the top 24 here at the U.S. Open last year. Looks like O'Keefe, max score 223. Cote on a, actually less of a max score, so she probably will not catch up to Shannon. Jody Wessner, the wild card in the situation for the top spot at the moment. Looks like she's actually a few frames behind where Shannon and kind of this side of the house is at. O'Keefe, max score now 212. Haven't started the 10th. There to plus 457 if she completes that. Means Wessner would have to get to 235 at least for a share of the lead. Also gives Stephanie Johnson a chance to put together a big game and get there. Same for Ferdy Crawley. Matt Canzaro says maybe. Making the rounds, letting us know what's going on.
You know, Shannon O'Keefe is, I won't say as quiet as it's kept. Open there for Cote in the 10th. She's had, of course, not winning, but she has made her fair share of U.S. Women's Open TV finals. Well, the one that sticks out, of course, is still fairly recent, 2 years back, 2015. Losing by a pin to Liz Johnson, which essentially set up the redemption opportunity for her previously, or this last season, winning her first professional singles title. After really thinking about that moment the entire year, put it on her phone as a screensaver, etc. And she went on to have a career year on tour. She knows how to get it done. Second 2015, third in 2012, fifth in 2011 at AT&T Stadium, and runner-up again to Liz Johnson in 2007.
Trouble in the 9th and 10th for Daria, finishes with a 179. Business done on our featured pairs. Emil's making some camera adjustments here, see if we can head off to 29 and 30. Still some players finishing up, taking their stuff back, but this is Alicia Current. Her 9th frame. Pretty good shot there. Rings the 10. Danielle Vandermeer. Rough final game for her. Matt Cannizzaro, the man with the calculations, says Jody Wessner can max out at 479 over. Shannon O'Keefe in the books at 457, so Jody still a few frames behind where we're at, and very, very far away. So it looks like they're about in the 8th frame or so. Neil's doing wacky things now. Says, that's CDB. All right. Carolyn, this is her 9th frame. Still shoot 247 this game. Connects for the strike. Tenth frame for Valerie Bercier. Max score for her 237 after delivering the strike. Jordan Newham working on a spare starting her 10th frame. 195 max total. 1 for 1. In addition, we get the famous player walk-by camera now in effect, so I'll see if Emil can get some folks to wave to him too. Valerie looking to double it up. Body language says 10 pin. Body language is correct. From way downtown, Diana Z. Looked like a strike, but looks like a rough finish as far as the final game goes. Double in the 10th for Jordan. 227 finish for Valerie. .195 finish for Jordan. CDB stepping up. 247 out there for the Hall of Famer. Matt Cannizzaro reporting 9 spare strike in the 10th will put Jody at plus 458. So once again, that's way down on the low end. I believe 11 and 12. The wall's at 9 and 10. And they have 7 additional lanes, another sector, if you will. Kind of more for the recreational party, have a good time variety here at Plano Super Bowl. CDB leaves the 10 pin Second shot of the 10th. She can max out with the spare. 236. Randy Branca. One more gets her into the 2-0s. 4-pin says nay, nay. Jody Westner up way down there. Looked like she did not get the 9 necessary. So maybe a chance for a tie. That was an 8 count. Branca finishes up with 186. Going to the scoreboard. 236 CDB leading the way. Looks like just one shot to go. It's going to be Jody Westner. Potentially needs a strike to tie for the lead at 4:57 over with Shannon O'Keefe. Sounded good. We'll have to wait and see, get an official word from.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes round 2 for C Squad. The ladies will return tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for 8 more games of qualifying.
Looked like 232, so that 8 count might have been a 6. So that would put her just 1 or 2 pins short. Unofficially, looks like Shannon O'Keefe will be leading at 4:57 over here after 2 rounds at the 2017 U.S. Women's Open. That's going to do it for C Squad round 2. A Squad coming up next here on Bowl TV on Extra Frame. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 local time here, so about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20. We'll be back on the air for the final 8-game block of round 2. So thanks again for stopping by. For Emil Williams Jr. and Matt Cannizzaro, I'm Aaron Smith. We'll be back on Extra Frame here for the 2017 U.S. Women's Open. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.